past 30 or so days, 40 days to be exact, we've been indulged with football from the other side. The good, the bad, and the not so good of the World Cup. We saw what happened. Uh, Spain once again proved that no foreign manager has ever won the World Cup in the history of the World Cup. So I don't know if there's a science behind this thing or not, because we thought Tuchel with England was gonna go all the way. It was not to be. But in today's episode, we are joined by a rose among the thorns. Khabo Zitha, former Banyana striker, stalwart. She's been there from the beginning. She's now going to indulge us with her expertise in football and tell us what exactly to. But we'll start with just what happened, the controversies, the good and the bad from the World Cup. Rodri walking away with the player of the tournament. I'm not sure if I agree with these decisions, like so many decisions that FIFA took, or is it those committees, too many committees at FIFA that decided, or one of them decided to suspend a suspension. We spoke about the Balogan's red card, which was suspended. We spoke about Tembazwane's red card, which was extended, not suspended. So many decisions. We saw a red card being issued after the game, the final game. We spoke about South Americans, how they were playing, especially Paraguay against France. People were saying now about Argentina, dirty games, dirty tricks. And it was not to be for Messi. What a way to leave the big stage without the gold medal, but at least he walked away with the silver, having lost in the final. Some are saying, me included, that it was not the worthy of a final. Looking at how Argentina played against Spain, expected a lot. These were two top teams going to the final of the World Cup. But what a damn squib of a World Cup it was. Rene, we'll start with you about Rodri. Why is it so much controversy about Rodri's winning the gold player of the tournament?
No, for me, Shanks, I think he played flawlessly this World Cup. Like I said, the way he reads the game, the way he controls the game, like he hardly loses the ball. He's basically, for me, he's the one that was making Spain tick, and it was beautiful to see. Like he recognizes things that not normal people can recognize. So for me, I think it's well deserved by him.
I'm not sure. Well, I did say that there's always controversy, but this is what makes football interesting. If there are no divided opinions, then we're not going to talk about football. Khabo, your take on Rodri more especially?
Yeah, my take, I still believe that each and every player, by virtue of you being in that tournament of that magnitude, well deservedly so. He's coming back from 2-year injury with his knee. He's been struggling, and yet he made it to the national team and to play in the World Cup and be leading the team as a captain. And that alone still says a lot about his character. And also we know that his ability to give good passes, accuracy, like I gave the stats earlier, total passes, and even though it didn't have much assist.
Give us those stats again.
The passing accuracy was 94% and 692 completed passes. And in total, during the World Cup, it's 729 and 13 tackles and 10 interceptions, including the one that Messi got during the final, where all of us thought maybe Messi, with his tricks, he will go through He just put his foot there and took the ball out of the way. That was a biggest scoring opportunity for them to get a goal, the Argentinian team. And yeah, I think we can give him a benefit of the doubt though, and give it to him. He deserves it. And since his debut with the national team from 2018 with the Spanish team, I think he is doing good. When also with his team at Man City, yeah, I think we know his caliber of a player, and I wouldn't take anything away from him as an individual, because playing the game to the best of your ability, and if people recognize that there's something in you, I think it's also fair for him to receive that accolade. Not only the Mbappes that we know of, and the Messi that we know of, the Neymar, just to mention a few. Even him, like he deserves. I think it's only fair.
Okay, but you know what really surprised me with this game is because at Man City this past season, after that long layoff because of that knee injury, he was never the same. I thought this was the end for him because Rodri, after winning the Ballon d'Or, controversially so,
Yeah,
because some of us thought Vinicius was going to win
yeah,
at that time, but because of the Euros, he won it, and then but he has never been himself ever since that other season. Even for Man City, he was playing, or he was used as a part timer. Maybe they were just Guardiola was trying to prepare him for the World Cup, but also not to rush him. I'm not so Sash, if you agree with what Khabo said and Rene about Rodri deservedly walking away with this award.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like Cabo said, there are certain players that just go about their business. They do their job quietly, efficiently, and effectively. And I think that's what Rodri did. He did that in a very professional manner, in a very subtle manner, where you you just carry the duties of the team quietly but effectively. And I think he managed to do that while we're still looking at the stats. Because when we look at the stats, yes, he might have had 700 and whatever passes and all that. But, the other players who were noticeable. And unfortunately, whatever criteria FIFA used to choose, um, is up to FIFA, because we were expecting different players, and FIFA just showed us that whatever you're expecting is beyond is not what you're gonna get, and they
What
did.
did you have in mind? Because for me, Rodri was not was not in my top five. The World Cup. I don't know who you had in mind that could have walked away with this award.
From the onset when the World Cup started, there are a lot of. I was looking at Dembele. I was looking at Mbappe for sure, and obviously everyone was thinking it's Messi.
yeah.
Everyone was thinking it's Messi,
Yeah,
and FIFA looked the other way and said, "No, sorry guys, we're gonna go with the champion, the winner of the World Cup." I think that's the criteria maybe they use. Nobody remembers second place, so they went with the winner. And in the winning team, they decided who can we actually give this award to, and they thought who's played all the matches in the World Cup, who has been consistent, who has been effective, and they looked at Rodri's stats and said, the highest stats in this Spanish team, I think it's Rodri, so we might as well go for Rodri. Because if you look at most of the awards went to the winning team.
Yeah, but you look for me. You look at the goalkeeper, Spanish goalkeeper. I think considered only one goal
Yeah, no, that one is rightfully so.
throughout the tournament. I mean, was he even considered for the best player, not just the goalkeeper of the tournament? I know you. I mean, it's the last line of defense. Obviously, the defenders will always try to protect you. I mean, you've been there, you've played there, but I think let's talk about the final because there's something else that I want to touch on about the moment of this World Cup. Cabo, what did you make of Spain and Argentina final?
Actually, it was not what I expected. I thought it was going to be a fire by fire. So unfortunately, I think Argentina did not come to the party, because Spain had most of the ball possession, and the Argentinian team was solely looking at Messi to get that breakthrough, and only to find that Rodri is the one who dismantled Messi's plan to penetrate, because we have seen Messi on the previous World Cup games that he pulled through. He came back, fought for the team. Hence, I also thought he will be the one who's winning this accolade. So I think that final was not super wow for the whole world to watch, because that level was like it's for all the superstars, for the riches in football. So we needed to also have that relaxing moment watching the game that we love so much and enjoy it to their full potential. But I think Spain had the upper hand, and they destroyed Argentina, because we thought that Argentina will take it again. But Spain stood up for their country and represented their flag very well. But it was not the best of the best final everyone was waiting to see.
So, Renee, it once again proves that football is not played on paper.
Yeah.
Because on paper, we said Argentina, pound for pound, if you play that they have that, can match Spain. But at the beginning of the World Cup, would you have thought that Spain will go all the way and win it, Renee?
I didn't think that they'll go all the way and win it. But like as the World Cup was progressing, they were just starting to look better and better and better. Like even for the final, like Spain was so well organized. There were no individuals, I should say. Everybody played as a team, and like Argentina was struggling in all areas. And you must even look at the substitutes that came on for Spain. I mean, they even came and do like 110% of their job. I mean, we look at Rodri when he went, or Pedri came in. You just hear the commentator say his name all the time. Williams came on, he made a difference. So that team, they played so well, but they played as a unit, they played as a team in every area of the positioning. They were flawless.
I agree with you. As the tournament progressed, also came to the party. Especially after the first game when they were held to a goalless draw by Cape Verde. Everybody thought, if they can't beat Cape Verde, who are they going to beat? Serge, for you, what stood out from this tournament? What was your match of the tournament?
Yeah. Now I have to start going backwards.
Let me just refresh your mind. People are saying France England was worthy of a final.
Yes.
And then.
Okay, that's enough, Shanks. Yeah, just that one.
Yeah.
When you watched France and England, that was one hell of a game. You know, it had everything that you need in a final.
Mm.
It had all the sparks. It had all the anxiety. It had all the goals. You know, it had all the momentum that you need in a final. Imagine first half it's 4-0, and everybody's writing England. I mean France off and saying that's the end of France. And luckily, or just after the halftime break, I guess Tuchel had a good word with the boys, and after that it was game on. We never expected England to come back strong like that, but they did, and it was game on after they scored the first goal. 4-2, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4. Aye. And people are saying, England will come back. It's England will come back. Then 6, you know, and that's what we needed in the final. But in the final, that was a different game. Look at the final. The final was overshadowed by a lot of things. Things that should have been happening during the preliminary games, they never happened, and they come and happen in the final. Look at what I mean is Argentina, all the way from the preliminary games. How many Argentinian players got yellow cards? For all the fouls and the rough play, they never got any fouls. They never got any yellow cards. Then come the final, this ref was in charge. He dished out cards like nobody's business. It's like he was making up for all the mistakes that his colleagues made. And then in the end, that red card just changed everything.
But were these the right, the correct decisions?
The yellow cards, yes. Even the red card was a correct decision, because I think Argentina thought they won't get cards, but unfortunately, this ref was from a different breed. Because from a different breed, he just came out and did what he needed. He did his job, according to me. And because Argentinian players were very arrogant. Very, very arrogant. He showed them that, no, the man in charge is me.
Yeah.
And he changed the complexion of the game after the red card. Argentina couldn't keep up with Spain, because Spain played according to the identity. And from game one, that's how Spain was playing. Their own philosophy from game one until the end of the competition. And that's why they've been dominant. If you look at the Cape Verde game, they played the same way. They couldn't get the goal. They never changed their philosophy. Second game, same way, managed to win. Third game, same way, managed to win until final. And then they humbled Argentina.
Okay, so as we wrap on the subject of the World Cup, just Renee, quickly, what were the stand-up moments from this World Cup for you?
I think for me was with the African teams. The way they performed, the way they progressed or tried to progress. For me, it just showed
Not the way they disappointed.
the way they disappointed. I mean, but you know, it's progress, not perfection. So for me, that was standout, and also to see the quality of African players that we do have. I think the next World Cup or even the AFCON, we really gonna see players. We're really gonna see.
Khabo, your highlights from World Cup?
Yeah, I would go with the individual accolades that were received at the end of the World Cup. We still see the same superstars showing the youngsters that they really stepped up. And also going back to the African teams, I'm also not 100% happy for us Africans to lose the same way, to leave the World Cup the same way. I think the other team should have taken dressing from the one that left the World Cup, so that they don't leave the World Cup the way the other team did. But we all followed suit. We left the World Cup the African teams the same way. So it's an experience of a lifetime for our African fellowship to go and rectify when we come back for the next World Cup. If one team goes out at the quarterfinals, need to have that full concentration for 90 minutes, because that stage there's no room for memory relapse. You need to give your all until the last whistle. So I think the experience there and there really got to us, and yeah, we can take that as a positive for us to go and fix for our next tournament. And yeah, it wasn't that much of a wow, because it was so unpredictable, and people like us who are playing the bad ways, we tried to predict scores, but it didn't go the way we thought it would, because it's football, and the ball is always
You
rolling.
are a loser. You are a so loser when I Khabo. You know, that's why football is so unpredictable, because you cannot predict the future.
Yes.
I think for me personally, I think obviously, you know, disappointed with African teams. I felt we regressed, you know, could have done better. But we always say could have, should have, would have, you know, in hindsight, we always say it's a learning experience. Back Going back to the drawing board. I mean, in 2022, we finished in the top 4. Now we finished in the top 8. Only one country out of 10 countries finished in the quarterfinals. And for me, you know, yes, people are saying if Morocco had not met France, maybe they would have progressed. But this is how you gauge your strength against the best. You know, they could have or should have beaten France in the quarterfinals and progressed to the semifinals. And the less said about all other countries, like Khabo says, followed the same route, never learned from others, you know, to say, hey, we saw in Senegal were leading 2-0, but what happened? They conceded. Egypt did the same thing against Argentina. They were leading 2-0. But the same thing, Sash, I don't know, from the 2026 World Cup, what do you take that we need to, when we look at the 2032, especially from the African perspective, that we need to do?
I think it's high time African teams play with their own philosophy. This thing of changing the African identity is very disappointing. A lot of African teams couldn't express themselves. If you look at the Nations Cup, how all these African teams play, it's totally different to how they play in the World Cup. It's a controlled atmosphere where, I don't know, even the systems of play are totally different from when they're at the Nations Cup, and it changes the way they play. I start with Capo Verde. You saw how Capo Verde played. They were expressing themselves. There were no restrictions. It was football, total football flowing.
Yeah.
You look at Bafana. I think a lot of people were disappointed with the first game because where was the identity? Where was the philosophy? Nobody recognized the way they were playing. If they changed jerseys and Bafana wore the opponent's jersey, you still couldn't tell, because usually the way a team plays, you can tell, oh, that's our team. But the way they played, we couldn't tell which team was Bafana on the day.
Yeah.
Look at the way Morocco played. Morocco came and expressed themselves too. Unfortunately, they lost to France. Yeah. Also, maybe a lapse of concentration. That 1-2 second that gave Mbappe that opportunity to score. You look at all the other African teams. Yes, most of them conceded goals in the 89th, 90th minute, but so did Argentina. You know, it's the way the momentum of the game is going. Argentina also considered in the last few minutes of the game, but a lot of African teams got knocked out, and it became a norm that we concede goals in the last few minutes of the game. So, and obviously, all the coaches are going to start working on this little detail. And then after working on this little detail, come the next World Cup, when you start conceding in the first minute of the game, then what are you going to say now?
How much? How much?
You know,
How much is?
hold on.
Yeah.
Then now you're going to say no. In the next World Cup, we need to work on not conceding in the first minute of the game.
I hear you, but how much of this thing is a factor that no foreign coach has ever won the World Cup?
Hey, I've been advocating for locals. Let the local coach take it. Give him an opportunity. But African teams, when it comes to the World Cup, we like to get the European coaches and give them all the grace and glory. While instead of giving your African coach or your local coach the opportunity to take the team to the World Cup, let him also be responsible in this big tournament. But
100%.
come World Cup, we roll out the red carpet for the European coach. He's from Europe, he knows better. But you do all these courses that teach you the same, that teach you football education the same way.
Yeah,
But you rather,
but does Renee? Sorry. Renee, does this mean that Africa will never win the World Cup?
I'd never ever say that. Like I said earlier, that
No, because we are so obsessed with foreign coaches. And
Yeah.
then if you go with the stats from 1930, no foreign coach has ever won the World Cup.
Yeah, I think we need to give our African coaches a chance. Let them also progress, and we must also have belief in the coaches, because I think a lot of them, they get a lot of criticism that what they don't have the knowledge, they don't have this, they don't have that. I think they must just go old school. They must just bring the shambok there on the side, and then everything will be okay.
You know, these days they call it assault. You know, they're gonna take them to jail. You know, before maybe during Kabo's days you'll have a shambok, and then but it contributes to discipline.
Yeah.
Kabo,
Yeah.
do you agree?
Yeah, it contributes. Yeah.
Discipline.
Yes.
Okay, Kabo, we'll stay with you. We are now heading to WAFCON
Yeah.
in Morocco, or once again in Morocco, where the 4 best teams are going to qualify for next year's World Cup in Brazil. I'm not sure you've been involved you were involved with Banyana. They did not do well in the previous WAFCON, also in Morocco. How do you rate their chances this time?
Yeah. I saw the different take this time around. I saw them during their preparations going to Japan, playing the friendly, even though the first game they lost, but they made a comeback on the second friendly game. They won 1-0. Towards the preparation, I wasn't sure what was exactly the plan. But the last time I spoke to Coach Desiree, she actually told me that she's so excited that she allowed herself to bring in new youngsters like Zoe October from UWC. She's also like a utility player who can also play as a striker and play as a midfielder. So I think from the previous one, it was not 100% for us, from especially coming back from winning it 2022, and then the next year, and then we do bad. It was not ideal. But coming back to this one, given the teams that we are playing against, we have Tanzania, we have Burkina Faso, and Ivory Coast. I think the first game needs to push us through so that we can gain that winning mentality again, because we need it to come here at home so that we can also claim our champion, African champions again. Because I think it's only fair to keep consistency. If this year you manage to win, become a champ, the coming year you need to step up, fight for it. I think last previous one we didn't fight more than we did in the 2022 when we won it. But I will take one for Banyana for this year. Like I have much belief, given the fact that I saw that our group and our first game, even though it's not going to be easy, but with the most new young team players that we have, and together with the experience, I think we will do good. We will do good. I'm hoping for the best. I also would love to go and sit there in Morocco and watch the game.
Okay, so am I. So I also want to go there and sit and watch in Morocco. Renee, Cabo says we played Japan twice. They beat us in the first game. They made wholesale changes in the second game. We beat them. But we going to Morocco, we're playing West African teams, Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast. We're playing East African team, Tanzania, which is on the up. Yet we go and play a friendly against Japan. Does this help when you play a different country with a different style of play compared? Because I thought the preparations, these friendly matches, is to gauge against what you're going to play against at the tournament.
Yeah, but also for them to play like a country like Japan. Obviously, it's definitely preparation. Basically like on a high scale. And also what Khabo said that Desiree, she's bringing in some youngsters, so which is mixed with experience. So those are the type of things that you basically checking your combination, tactical, like everything. So those games are very important. But it's also going to give Banyana this sort of confidence. You know, going in the AFCON or the Women Cup.
Sash, a lot is expected from Zambia, of course. They've been on the up, the women's side. They're in a tough group as well. But I see them having played the previous World Cup, having played at the Olympic Games. How do you rate their chances going to this WAFCON?
Shanks, first of all, I have to say rest in peace to Mr. Bruce Mwape. That's the former Shipolopolo coach. He passed away last 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
Yeah.
So he passed away. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the group yet, but what I can say is women's football has been on the rise in Africa. It's been on the rise in Africa. It's been on the rise in Zambia, where I think we've taken it so serious that every girl child who has potential puts the effort into becoming a footballer. and hence we see these up and coming young players in the national team. So for women, for the Shipolopolo team, we always expect nothing less than wins all the way. It has to be progression, because we did well at the last World Cup, and we expect to do well, even better than we did at the last World Cup, because we still have the same players, maybe just an infusion of a few new ones. We still have this. We still have the same core, but the coach, they brought in a new coach from Europe, and I'm yet to see. I want to see, because there was a few issues with between her and the association, where she stayed away, and it was all over the media that she was fired. She wasn't fired. So I want to see what the hype was about. Is she really the link that's been missing, or it was just a hoo-ha, based on the association and her? So from the player side, we have talent in abundance, and I think that that Shanks, you've seen the games that when even the COSAFA, when we came to play the COSAFA in South Africa, they brought the D team, and you saw how it performed. They brought new players, that was new talent being exposed to such a tournament, and they managed to
No,
do well.
Zambia's got Egypt, Malawi, and Nigeria in the group. Obviously, the top two teams will progress to the quarterfinals and then to the semifinals. But they've always been there. They've done well. I agree with you. Khabo, if there was an advice for Coach Des, I know the previous tournament they were under pressure because they were defending champions. But now the pressure is to qualify for their third consecutive World Cup in Brazil.
Yeah, we need to go there to the World Cup. We need to qualify. At least it's better because there's 4 teams that qualifies. Back then it was only 1 team, which made things very difficult for African teams not to have that experience. If it was fair enough for women's football to qualify at least 2 teams, maybe the experience would have been better, because now it was only mostly Nigeria. Only 1 country that will have an experience, and I think that delayed the progress of women's football to the World Cup. Because if we had that opportunity, now it's 4, and we know this tournament it's already kicking in the bloodstream now. We are waiting to see who's doing well, who's doing what, and the streams. There's a group of death also, and we also know that we all want good teams to go through and qualify to go and represent Africa in the World Cup. And my advice, I would ask the coach, like I already did, to give these youngsters blended with their experience, so that they can also, when they qualify, they don't have a stage fright when we get to the World Cup, because a stage fright can carry you throughout the tournament, and you will not even be able to have that element of recovery for you to be the best that you can be, because the level is too high.
Mm-hmm.
So my take would be that to allow the youngsters to have game time and playing with the senior players, and allow the senior players to give motivation to the young ones to step up, because now you cannot play football forever. When you leave, you must leave the mark and inspire the ones that are coming, so that they can also make a name for themselves. I always say you cannot just play football and you are not spoken about. You need to when you leave the field, people must still point fingers at you, not even only you, at the rest of the team, not to be able to single out players, but to recommend you as a team. So the only thing that will make us go through as Africa, like I think it's for us to have that strong mentality, not break down, and also keep the philosophy and bring our individual brilliance by virtue of being in the tournament. I think it speaks for itself. If you as an individual, as a player being selected, you must do your best to be spoken about. I would love to see your name on the media, first front page, not to grow wings, but for you to grow character. So I would love to see those players performing to that, so that they qualify to the World Cup and represent Africa very well.
Okay, no, fair enough. It's also up to the players to step up. You cannot just leave everything to the coach. The coach will select the best team, but the players must also come to the party to show that they also want to be there. Renee, you've been there. You know what it takes. You need that BMT. They always say you need a big match temperament to play at the highest level. So as that you are recognized, you show that you also want to be there. The highest stage of football is the World Cup. Renee, now we get into August. I see spring is upon us. It's hot, not that hot, but our teams have gone to hotter conditions in Spain, in Austria. We see Sundance has gone to Austria, Chiefs and Pirates. I think they're in Spain for preseason. What do you make of this trend of African teams or South African teams going abroad now?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be, or it is, a good experience for them, because I remember coming to Chiefs and our first travel was to Swaziland. But like for me, and I was still a youngster, I felt that I didn't get like enough competition with the teams over there. So I think with them traveling abroad, it's gonna broaden their play. I mean, even when it comes to team spirit, and this is where you start getting the competition. You know, getting to know the coaches. Yeah, I think it's a very very good initiative that they are doing. I think it's gonna help them in the long run.
Sesh, it's not just the teams that are going abroad. South Africa is exporting coaches left, right, and center. Eric Tingler is in Ghana. We've seen Rulani Mukwena is in Egypt. Mangoba Mniti is in Tanzania. So is Steve Barker. The list is increasing every season. Is this good for the country?
It's long overdue. It's long overdue. We've got a list, or we've got a pond or an ocean of good coaches in Africa, but we seldom travel to go and try our expertise outside. So on this one, we have to thank Pizza for opening the doors for all these other coaches, because once you travel, it exposes you to a lot of things, and it exposes you to a lot of traditions and cultures and way of life in other countries, and even the monetary side. It's a plus. So we should actually thank Pizza for that, because he opened these doors. And a lot of African coaches never wanted to travel; they just wanted to be locally. Local was lekker until until you get an opportunity where you find that you can actually double or quadruple what you are getting back home. So
Yeah.
it is a very good exposure for them. And I think they're going to become hungrier and hungrier. And from there, I bet they're going to move from that country to the next and to the next. They just keep traveling, which is good. Same way as exposure for players. You know, once you go overseas, it shows you different types of opportunities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, rightfully so. We used to import coaches, import players.
Mm.
Now we also exporting players to the African teams. Now Makalo is going to Tanzania. We've got Lodge in North Africa. We had somebody in Egypt. We've got other players in Tanzania as well. This kind of opportunities, why now?
It's been happening, but not just now. It started happening after Pizza traveled.
You know,
When Pizza first traveled, that's when a lot of South African players started moving around in and around Africa. Though some were traveling, some went to Botswana, yes, some were in Zambia, some were in Tanzania. Not that much, but after Pizza traveled, there's been an influx of South African players traveling, which is giving them a good mileage on the CVs. It's a good opportunity for them, especially if you don't travel overseas and you travel in Africa. It's also good, but if you go overseas, it's another stepping stone or an eye opener to show the youngsters that this can be your life if you want it. This is just what's waiting for you if you put hard work and dedication. If you invest in your in yourself, you're gonna travel and live this kind of life. That's why some teams go overseas for preseason. It's another exposure, you know, so that the boys get used to playing under maybe 30,000 supporters, 40,000 supporters, 50,000 supporters, depending where they went. See different cultures, and they're ready to absorb the pressure. So that when you play a Kaiser Chiefs, you play a Sundowns, you play a Pirates, that stage fright that Khabo was talking about, you don't get that. But once you've been exposed to these countries, it becomes easier for a youngster.
Renee, does it really matter where you play?
In terms of Africa or Europe,
Either way.
well,
You leave South Africa, you go to the DRC. You've got players from the DRC who want to come and play in South Africa. It's always an exchange of culture, you know.
yeah. So I think if you're gonna even travel to Africa, you have to play at a team at a high level. You can't like leave Pirates or Sundowns and go play for a lower division in Africa. So it really doesn't make sense because as a player, because remember the years are short, so it's basically every training session you gotta progress. Every team that you go to has to be on a high level. That's the only way that you're gonna become a good player and get that major experience.
Cabo is not different with Banyana players. They've been all over the world. Mexico, I'm not sure if there's a male player who's been to Mexico, but our Banyana players are playing in Mexico, in the US, in Scotland, everywhere in the world. What does that do to, or what do they bring to Banyana?
Yeah, currently we have 5 players who are playing abroad. We have Linda who's playing for Glasgow in Denmark, and Mexico, I think it's Tembi and Amugelang Muta. Yeah.
Where's Soposing? She's still there.
No, she's not. You still remember she?
No, not the national team, but personally, she still plays there.
She's still playing there. Yeah, she's still playing there, and I would also love to revisit her decision and come back and assist the team. It's so unfortunate. Even age it's not on on her side, for her to stay away from representing the country. I mean, that's one of the best things that any player will want to have. But it is topic for another day. So yeah, it's very good for us to have players who are playing in different countries, because it's when you have a player that's playing abroad, when they come to the camp, they like bragging about the life they're living on the other side, and they're getting paid, and it motivates the one who are all on the team when we go to the World Cup, because when you get to the World Cup, everybody wants to step up so that they can be seen by many, and it's also scouting themselves. So it's very good to have players who are coming abroad and blending their experience with the ones that are playing here at home. And the recommendation is that we should get more girls, especially who are coming for the national team, to play abroad, because it brings that level of a big status from the players who are playing here at home. And it gives you an opportunity to compete, because you know that, yeah, with us, we had like your Veronica Pewa. She will come from Arsenal and she would mock us and tell us, like, you are playing in local football. And then we go and compete slowly. And then during game time, and then I score 2 goals. And then I ask him, I ask, hey, when Arsenal, did you score? So you're coming from Arsenal, like, when you are in camp, you have that element of being a family, you know. Yeah, there's no one who's stepping on anyone's toes. Like what we talk
Yeah.
about, it's solely for us to motivate each other, but not in a softer way, because in football. So yeah, my take is that we need to have more going abroad, so that we can blend that philosophy that we want. With the league that we are playing is not that much competitive. Like now in the national team, we have 10 players from Sundowns, 11 players from Sundowns, 4 from UWC, and then Janine van Beek, we have 3, and then that 5 that is coming from. You see, there's a big difference, because only 11 players coming from Mamelodi Sundowns, and they are the one team that is competing in the Hollywood. So it's the best team in that league. So we need to have more outside, so that when they come back, it should be maybe 11 from overseas based and local. And then when we go together, then we can create something that is very much strong.
Yeah.
No, I agree. We've seen that with Bafana, with Pirates and Sundowns players dominating the national team. But it's also the same with Spain. It's dominated by players from Barcelona.
Yeah.
Not even a single player from Real Madrid to the World Cup until Eureka signed from Chelsea. But Sash, it's well and good that you've got Rulan in Egypt. But what does it say when he spends 6 months in Libya, he spends a few months in Algeria, and he moves so quickly, man? Is this good for his CV?
On that one, I was also thinking about that one. I don't know. I guess they've seen the value in him, that they want to move him as soon as possible. He's the good thing is, whatever contract he signs, there's always a clause that frees him up to go join the next team.
No, but once you start a project, don't you have to see to it that you finish it?
Yes, you have to, but if another team wants you, what can you do? The only thing they can do is honor the clause that's in your contract. It's either the project that they've seen that once he starts a project, he does so well. So while the project is still ongoing, another team comes and knocking on your door. What do you do? And they offer you a good package.
I totally disagree. If you start a project, you must see to it that you finish it. Rene, loyalty goes a long way. I don't know whether you agree with Sash that if someone comes knocking, you have to pack and go.
No, that's his decision, not my decision. I'm saying that's his decision. Yeah? That's his decision.
Not your decision.
He's done it how many times? I'm not whispering in his ear.
I suspect you are his advisor. Eh?
No.
Rene, what do you make of this short movement of Rulane?
No, like you're saying, I think that any coach they should be loyal to the team, and when you start a project, like finish it, because this will make you like a in between a coach. So you're really not gonna get like that full experience of a full season where there's wins, there's losses, there's criticism, there's good things happening, bad things happening. So I think for a coach, they should fulfill that that mission or that project through a full season. Not like that Tunisian coach after one game. No, that was absolute future. I mean, really. I mean, even us, we felt for that coach, and we don't even know him personally. I mean, yeah, I think that yeah, you gotta fulfill the project.
Oh, okay. No, I agree with you. Khabo, as we wrap and then come to the end of today's episode, this one I never saw it coming. Eric Tingler going to Ghana.
Asante Kotoko.
Asante Kotoko.
No one saw this one coming.
I know what's so
Yeah. Okay. No, but it's good that we're exporting talent. We hopefully in future it will come back to benefit not only them financially, but also the country. So next week when we come back, we'll focus more on WAFCON because it will be in full swing and look ahead to the new season. There's a lot happening. I can guarantee you that player movement is going to keep us glued to the screen. So until we meet next week, I think that's it for now.
Thank you so much.
Adios.
Adios.
Thanks, Khabo.
Thank you, Sashi.
Cheers, Khabo.
Hola.
Great weekend.
Rene, see you.
Hola.